Hey, dancers, Anthony and Rose. It is Two-Step and Tuesday, and today we're going to cover the most common mistakes that we see dancers make when learning how to two-step. If you do this stuff, you'll have a lot less problems, so stick around. All right, guys, we've been doing this YouTube channel for about a year now. We've been doing Two-Step and Tuesday every week for quite some time. So there's a lot of things we want to get to. We get a lot of requests, a lot of exciting things that we want to get to on this channel. So this is going to, say it with me, it's going to be our last Two-Step and Tuesday. That doesn't mean we're not going to do Two-Step on this channel anymore. There's going to be a lot of Two-Step on this channel. That is the most popular of the country dance. But we get a lot of requests for West Coast Swing. We get a lot of requests for triple two-step and waltz and all this stuff. So we want to be able to do that stuff more on this channel too. Now today, like I said, we're covering the most common things that people have trouble with. And if you know these things, things are going to be a lot easier for. Now, if you are new to this channel, you'll notice this little button down there and it says subscribe. So if you hit that button, you become an X dancer and then you know when all the awesome stuff has happened on the channel. All right, guys, so we've got a lot of two-step on this channel. If you go back and you watch some of that stuff, and then when people have questions or we see it here in the studio, the number one problem that people have the most has to do with what we call alignments. Now, we talked about this in other videos before, but for some reason, people are still having trouble with this. So we really want you guys to get this one. An alignment is where are you in relation to where your partner is. And two-step is really simple. Everything in two-step is simple. That doesn't make it easy. That just means it's simple. In two-step, there are only two places that you guys can be in relation to each other. Okay, so we're going to talk about those and then how that applies to the patterns. The first alignment is where one partner is directly in front of the other. Now, in this case, if our line of dance is this way, I'm moving forward and Rose would be moving backwards. Now, this is the first alignment. Now, of course, that alignment could be here. There's some patterns where I might be moving backwards, but either way, the first alignment is where one partner is directly in front of the other, moving down the line of dance. Now, the other one, the second alignment, is the one that people seem to have trouble with the most. That's where one partner is on the outside of the dance floor and one partner is on the inside. The thing we gotta talk about with this one is that whoever is on the inside should almost always be slightly behind the person on the outside, all right? So if we were in this sweetheart position like this, the one thing I'm gonna say here is she's on the outside of the floor, I'm on the inside, but she's also slightly in front of me. Now this is gonna go universally for all patterns, okay? So here's what I wanna do. I wanna dance some stuff and I'm gonna show you how this works. So if I were just leading her from a promenade position, I'm just gonna make some stuff up here. What's happening here is I'm staying on the inside, she's on the outside, but no matter what we're doing here, I'm keeping her slightly in front. Now, this is hugely important. So even if we were doing like weave patterns, if we were here, now she's over on this side. Now, the important thing is I didn't say that the leader needs to be slightly behind and the follower needs to be slightly in front. What I said, whoever is on the inside needs to be slightly behind. So we're in this pattern, but when we do this weave pattern, watch what happens. We're still in that same alignment here, but look at our alignment. I'm now slightly in front of her because I'm on the outside of the floor. So here, I go back to that alignment. I'm slightly behind her. I'm slightly behind her because I'm on the inside. Now, the question is, whose responsibility is it to manage the alignments? That would be the leader, because the leader knows what he's doing, what's happening next, and what he has planned. Like the follower has no idea. Like she's just like going there, right? That's what she's doing. But the important thing here is as she's moving, he keeps himself in relation to her where he needs to be, allowing her to move that way until we get back into this alignment. Hugely important. Now, here's some of the things that could happen if you don't do this. There's a lot of patterns where I might be here and I might be turning underneath and all that stuff. I've just basically got to keep myself there. It is so much easier to lead her through stuff like this than it is like this, okay? Because if if she's behind me and I'm trying to lead, what that does is it causes my body to turn towards her to pay attention, and now I'm just moving backwards and it's awkward. Right. There's a lot of things like that barrel roll that we just did where I need to be slightly behind her so that I can basically spot on her and keep that distance through those patterns. I need to be, whoever's on the inside needs to be slightly behind the person on the outside. Try not to pass. Understand there's only two places. Here's your two places. One partner directly in front, or one partner on the outside, one partner on the inside. Whoever's on the outside is on the inside. Apply that to everything you do and watch how magically things just start to work out. All right, guys, this second tip is something that we run into all the time here at the studio. We run into it from feedback from the videos that we produce. But here's the thing, I'm just gonna say it out loud, is that when you're turning, you're still dancing, okay? So you don't dance, then start turning, and then start dancing again. So what you get a lot of times from followers is she's moving along, she's going quick, quick, slow, slow, and then she's right? So and then she feels like when she's done, she's supposed to start dancing again. When you're turning, you're still dancing. And what is dancing? It is movement to music. It's rhythmical movement. So when you're turning, you still have to go quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow. Quick, quick, slow, slow. And that needs to be attached to the rhythm that the leader is moving at, okay? So we've said this in other videos. Followers, you won't actually dance to music. You dance to stay in sync with the leader, and hopefully the leader is dancing music. But the important thing is that you guys are in sync with each other. Now, I do know that everybody wants to look and feel fast. When she spins, oh man, she spins so fast. Like, that's cool, but that's an illusion. So the thing is I would rather the follower I'm dancing with be late than to be early. That's hugely important, okay? I would rather you be late than be early. Like, you don't have a problem doing that at home. I'm married, I know that. So you gotta be late on purpose, because if I'm turning you and we're moving to music, if you're going slowly, I can speed you up. But if you just take off, I can't slow you down. Okay, so someone leads, someone follows. Like, you've got to turn to the rhythm. You are still dancing when you're turning. Stop trying to make it all powerful and super hot fast, all that stuff. Just dance during the turns. All right, another suggestion to make things a lot easier for you guys is make a decision. Like, be decisive on what the steps are, where you need to be, how you want to lead it, when you want to lead it, who does what the responsibilities are. Now, you're going to hear a lot of different opinions from a lot of different dance teachers. Now, here's the thing I want to say. There's no right or wrong. There's no correct, because if you have the top 10 dancers in the world and you ask 10 of them the same question, you might potentially get 10 answers. Is there a right or wrong? No, there's a decision to make. Choose what makes sense to you. No, what I mean by there's no right or wrong or correct way to do things, there's just decisions that have a repercussion. There's an effect that is created, okay? So just make a decision, and however you do it, whatever you decide is the best way for you to do that, do it that way every time. Here's a tip on how to practice. If we were to do an inside weave, the way that we teach this is the way that we dance it. We want to be in this position when we get to this part in the pattern to where we're facing each other. I'm slightly behind her, she's slightly in front of me. Whenever we dance this, we're going to dance it consistently this way every single time. When we come across, she's now going to be facing forward and I'm facing her with me slightly farther down the line of dance than she is. And then when we do this part, we want to get back to this alignment. That's the way that we dance that every single time.
Woo!
Yeah, so it's not just roll the dice and however that comes out, right? So there are some other teachers that teach this another way. That doesn't mean they're wrong, it's just like you gotta make a decision. So some dancers might teach this as we're bringing her in, and then you're both facing down the line of dance rather than facing each other the way that we just did this. Now, if we're in this position, then she could have come across here with a little J hook. There's just two different ways. Is one better than the other? I mean, we have our opinions. We like the way that we do it. That's why we do it that way. But the thing is you as a dancer have to make a decision. So when you're practicing, practice one piece at a time and know where you need to be, know where you're facing, know what part of the foot you're stepping on and how you're connected. just do it as process and do it the same way every time. Because you as a leader and her as a follower, like you guys want to be predictable and consistently the same. If it is rolling the dice and however that comes out, you're gonna, I mean, sometimes it's gonna roll 7, sometimes it's just gonna, you know, you're gonna lose all your money, right? So guys, what we're saying is consistently do it the same way every time and make a decision on how you want to do it. Guys, our final tip, and probably the most important thing you'll get from this video today, is if you get this part right, everything else, and even these other tips we've done, yeah, and your relationships will be better, your friendships will be better. You are a team, right? So they say there's no I in team and whatever, but the important thing is this is partner dancing. Okay, you are a partnership. You each have your own roles, but you are working together towards the same common goal at the end. Like you guys want to dance well, right? So here's the thing that we run into with students all the time. Like she'll say, well, he didn't lead that right. He's doing this. Like they complain because like, you know, they don't have enough leaders to dance with, but then they want to tear them down whenever they're dancing. You have to understand this. Learning to lead is more difficult than learning to follow. That doesn't mean that leading is more difficult, but learning to lead is definitely more difficult than learning to follow. There's just more things to know. Like he's going, okay, when do I lead it? How do I lead it? What am I doing next? And then when I finish that, what am I doing? And how do I communicate? I got to do my own steps. Well, I lead her through her steps, but her steps are different than my steps. And she's going, I'm turning. Like that's basically what's happening in the beginning. She's going to dance more. She physically has the harder part, but his part in learning is more difficult. So you got to lift him up. I'm not talking about like a little puppy dog. Good job, buddy. Like that kind of stuff. But literally understand that you're a team. Leaders, the thing I'm going to say to you is your job should be solely and exclusively to focus on making her look and feel good. She is your responsibility. Now, she can totally mess up, could totally be her fault, but even when it's her fault, it's still our responsibility. So like you have to put your attention on her. Understand that you're a team and you're working together, and try not to fight and argue and say he and she and we, you know, whatever. It is always us, we, ours. That's what we want to focus on. So thank you guys so much for watching. Did we miss anything? What important tips did we miss that have really helped you along the way? And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. What? What? We're all like...
Now I'm bleeding, thank you. It's a fault. I don't know how.